somebody to come by so I can check out his Lightning. Man, this thing is cool. That Cougar sounds sexy. So he just supercharged Coyote. We'll come back to this when he shows it to us, but let me go in there and say what's up to the boys. Nice little square. Here we go. AC shop. Nice C10 they've been working on for a while. What's up, bro?
So,
what up?
What's up, man?
Dude, this thing's looking great. Little notchback. See where Casey's at. What's up, Keenan?
Hey, what's up?
How you been?
Good, how are you?
Can't complain. And the shop's looking good. Yeah. Where's Casey at?
Probably in the paint booth.
Ah, makes sense.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, we never keep up with them.
There he is.
Doing his thing.
Doing his thing. Makes sense for a paint guy to be in the paint booth. What's up, dude? Dude, the shop's looking great. I was wondering where the hood was. You know
how some projects go. They escalate.
Snowball effect. Started washing her, now you're painting it?
Pretty much.
Nice.
Just went from an easy wash to a reshoot.
Well,
I don't know how I feel about saving the sticker, but like part of me thinks I should take it off. And part of me thinks I shouldn't. So,
well, what is it, the catalyst one?
yeah, vacuum line.
They ain't even on there anymore.
No, it's not.
Well, I'll see you guys in a second. We're gonna go outside probably soon. You've got to paint this apparently, so we'll see you. Well, I was over talking with the guy in case he sprayed it red. I think that's the first coat. Maybe we'll get the second coat and the clear coat, but anyway, he paints stuff. That's what he does. So he ain't waiting on me. Alright, so usually this would be a what the truck, but we're gonna include it into a little stopping over here. So Casey, tell us a bit about your Lightning over here.
So this is a very long-term ass whooping. Are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you could totally.
So this truck's been an ass whooping of mine for 3 years now. So we bought all of this 3 years ago, and the night that we bought it, we went to celebrate, and we were on our way home, and I spun the rod bearing in this truck.
Ooh.
So it's been down ever since. When the motor goes down, of course, along with everybody else, all right, well, let's make it faster. Let's, you know, build a stroker motor. So I built a full stroker motor for it, built the trans, and I've had nothing but issues out of it since I did that. And finally got to the point where I had more money in sense, couldn't get it to run the way I wanted it to. You know, I've had Coyotes, and you guys have seen my other trucks. You know, 500 horse in a small block is nothing like 500 horse in a Coyote.
Nothing.
Just not comparable by any means. So I think that's what I was expecting it to feel like, and it never did. So, long story short, I got aggravated, called one of my buddies, said, hey, if you want to buy my motor or trans, I'll make you a smoking deal. I cut my own legs off and started this project. So I finally got it now to where I can drive it, and I'm extremely happy about it. So it is a 15 to 17, it's a Gen 2 Coyote, 6R80, stock 8.8 rear end. I say stock, it's built up, and a BMP Supercharger. I built the motor myself. I had this short block. It's the illuminator that I broke in my green truck. I put a new crank in it, put it in here. Got a set of blower cams in it, and the BMP Supercharger. It should be close to 750 or 800, hopefully-ish.
Oh.
The way it sits right now. I named the truck Problem Child because it's a consistent.
It's fitting.
Terrible. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to give you guys a little insight on what we had to do to get the Coyote in it and retain as much drivability as we could without having to cut anything. I didn't have to modify any of the floor pans on the truck or anything like that. We did have to modify a couple things on the cross member just because I kept the AC compressor down low. But that's really about it. It's got a power by the hour power steering pump on it. Relocation, so it's got the inverted or whatever you want to call it alternator up here on top. It's got a sand, and I went with the sanding compressor instead of the factory Ford compressor, being that this sanding is a little bit smaller, gave me a little bit more room and less cutting and easier to hook up lines to for the AC. That's what we were actually working on today. It's the only thing left on the truck is to hook the AC up. Power steering pump, I did Gen 2 GM, or Type 2 GM, because they hold RPM better. So I did the Detroit Speed Type 2, so they kind of change it up a little bit. Coyotes are high revving motors, and you know, you're supposed to shut your AC off and be careful, and I'm not, so I tried to put the best parts I could on there to keep it blowing up.
You're good at the whole blowing up motors part, though.
Blow up AC compressors, power steering pumps. I can't believe I broke the motor in the green truck. That sucked.
That was the last time I was here.
That was a mess. We just about got it ironed out. What else? I ended up using the factory radiator, but did the GT500 fan on it. And it kind of feels ghetto, but I'm actually really happy with it. I just put a piece of angle on here and radiused everything, painted it, so that fan works really well. It's run by the full control pack. Overflow bottle still works, radiator cap, all that stuff works. You know, a lot of the Coyote stuff, they put the tanks up top. You can run a factory radiator as long as your radiator cap is higher than the highest cooling port in the engine. So I mean, it's not really that it's that crazy. It worked out really well, to be honest with you.
What did you do suspension wise? Because you definitely altered its height.
I didn't want to do, everybody wants to do crown Vics and different cross members. I wanted to keep the 5-on-5 and a half bolt pattern on it because I want to keep the factory wheels. I mean, to me that's a staple of the Lightning. I've already lost the whole thought on keeping the 351 Windsor before was trying to keep its heart the same. Like I wanted to keep a Lightning, and it fought me to the point where I ripped its heart out and started over. But I felt if I changed the wheels, changed the motor, hell, I could have bought a stock F150 a hell of a lot cheaper than starting with this. So I'm happy with the wheels and tires. I refurbished the wheels, redid the brakes, new tires. They're a little bit smaller tires.
Original brakes, or you upgraded?
Upgraded the brakes to the best I could that still are on there. The shop, Little Shop Manufacturing makes a kit. Just gotta save my Tenero up there. It's an expensive billet adapter piece, but then I can put like up to, I think they do up to a 16-inch billet on it. It's awesome.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
So,
is the truck original paint? Because dude, that paint looks like really nice.
Close-ish. Like the door has a little whoop whoop in it, and I think the tailgate's been painted.
But most of it's
stock.
So just a really good wet sand and buff, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that this week because Good Guys next weekend.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to get it all buffed.
I mean, she's already looking pretty slick.
Yeah, I took the hood off this morning just so I could clean the bottom side of the hooks. It's really hard to wash it.
Yep.
And the more I scrubbed on it, the scrubbing turned to red, so then it was paint. So now I've got the hood and the booth paint.
Well, at least it's nice that you know a guy that could help you with the whole, painting stuff if you need it.
So in the front, the Lightnings are already an inch lower than stock springs. So it's got DJMs in the front. So I did DJM Dream Beams, but then I put stock F150 springs in the front
to lift it
to get that inch, because I didn't want to get. You see some of these guys that lower those trucks and they got these really big tires. I didn't want that.
Yeah, that's how I could take a Texas pothole, and there's plenty of them.
Well, I live on Country Road, a couple miles down the road, so it's like I don't want to beat it up too bad. The trial and error, come to find out that in 94, 56 in that era, there was 3 different half-ton springs.
No way.
So the first set of springs I got were heavy duty. They're F150 half-ton, heavy duty with trailer package springs. I was like, why is this some bitch taller than it was whenever I lowered it? But it was like super extending everything. They have heavy duty, trailer package, heavy duty, or standard. So anyways, ended up, by the time I figured all that out, so it's got standard springs, Dream Beams, and in the rear it's hangers and shackles. It had Caltrax on it, but I wanted to try a long bar setup to see which one I liked. So it's kind of got like this intertwined version of a long bar and Caltrax. Kind of used both sets of brackets. Anyways, in the rear, it does pretty good.
Interior wise, it's bone stock.
Bone stock, except the gauges. So the interior is super clean on it. The truck only had 117,000 original miles on it.
Oh wow.
I went to was it new vintage gauges.
Okay.
I wanted to run Dakotas, but they didn't. That's just because what we're used to. And Dakota doesn't make a gauge set for the truck.
They do now.
For this one?
Yeah.
They made it for the Mustang.
No, they have it for this now, because I was just by you know Gumby at Texas Speed Lab.
Yeah.
So he does a ton of these. And he had them make him a custom one, so he sent it to them. So now they make them. Maybe they just make it for him, but if you asked him.
This was probably 6 or 8 weeks ago that we did that. So if he just had it done,
yeah, I was just by his shop and he had one in.
So yeah. So Gumby has a set. I don't have a set.
Gumby, he needs a set.
Yeah. It's got a sub behind the seat, just, you know, the necessities. And then, you know, the trucks come dual tanks, and I tried to keep it dual tanks, but I couldn't really find a great solution for a switch valve to go from one to the other, so I was gonna have to run phantom pumps in it anyways. So with the power level, it was gonna be dual phantom pump, and I was like, I don't want to run a dual phantom and a dual phantom and then try to do a switch valve to get them shut off. So I said, screw it. It's got an 84 or 85 F250 fuel tanks, 38 gallons.
Dang.
It's ridiculous. I filled this thing up when we built it. I still have to put gas in it. It's absolutely absurd.
Well,
so
my favorite part is still that tube bumper. For some reason, if like a Lightning without a tube bumper on it, don't even like. You might as well not even.
Well, and
that bumper sticker is great.
It's a magnet.
Oh, okay.
It's a magnet. So,
I'm totally taking it before I leave.
When I bought the truck, I had a roll pan in the plastic console, and I found a truck in Oklahoma that was listed as an F150, and I'm looking through the pictures, and it's a Lightning. It was a one owner, like 170,000 miles. I bought it for $5 grand or something like that, and I only bought it for the jump seat and the tube bumper. Brought it back to the shop, put the tube bumper on it, painted the white parts red and the red parts white, swapped everything over, and then sold it to a buddy of mine in Louisiana. And then we were building him a truck, and I was kind of interested in getting the Lightning back, so he gave me the Lightning back as payment on some towards the bill. So I have two of them. One's 100% stock minus exhaust, and it's lowered 1 inch all the way around. That's a clean ass square body. Old lady driving that thing too. Sorry, squirrel.
Shiny ball.
Yeah, shiny. So other than that, it really is stock. I mean, I say stock, nothing really left.
Other than that, it's really stock. There's nothing stock just about. You got some sheet metal and a VIN number.
Yeah.
But it's better than it ever could have been, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
It's OEM plus.
Pat myself on the back, never rebuilt a transmission in my life. I had my buddy rebuilding it for me, and I was to the point where I needed to build a trans mount, and I needed my case back. So I ended up getting my case back, and I was like, you know what? Surely I can rebuild my own transmission. Have never done this before. Had my buddy at the Ford house print me off the instructions. There's like 138 pages on how to rebuild a 6R80.
Oh wow.
I went step by step. Still good.
Nice.
It's got a Circle D converter in it. I had an aluminum drive shaft made. I had some balancing issues with the drive shaft, with the slip yoke. Didn't really like it, so I went to a CV joint in it. So it's a one-piece drive shaft with CV on the transmission side, and just you know, regular U-joint on the backside, but took away 95% of the vibration in the truck. Drives good, runs good.
Hell yeah.
The only thing I got left to do is the AC. I fixed the heater because it was cold when we were building it, but we've got to adapt all the AC lines, so hopefully we'll have that done. Taking it to good guys. I really want it to be like done. So
sweet.
I got to do the exhaust. The exhaust is just some bolt-on, clamped-on pieces to
Little hodgepodge.
Yeah, dude, and it's funny, I built I was like, I don't know what I want to do for exhaust. You know, you start looking at mufflers and you think in your head, like, the more expensive, the better they gotta sound, right? You're like, it's $200 muffler, it's gotta sound better than a $40 muffler. I was like, well, I need to put something on it. So I bought, it's a Flow X made by Flowmaster. They're like 30 bucks a piece. my absolute favorite sounding muffler on a Coyote. Everyone's like, you gonna leave them? Hell yeah, we're leaving it. So
That's
it's got
great.
a low X on it. I can't even explain to you what it sounds like.
But we'll
So
find out in a
raspy
second.
and loud. Other than that,
I guess let's hear the exhaust and then maybe we'll take it for around the corner.
yeah. I got my key. I got my desk. Hold up.
Alright, he's gonna go grab the keys and then we'll be back. Oh, she sounds real good. Hell yeah, dude, this thing sounds great. You got your seatbelts on. I think it's the first time you've had seatbelts on when we were in the car.
Yeah.
I'm a little scared.
Don't be.
Man, she's comfy. I love these seats. Something about tweed.
Yeah.
It's just like a nostalgic something. I don't know.
And we'll try to do it. And if you want to see a burnout, I think you might be able to.
That's my story. Bluetooth works.
I've never felt easier power steering in my life either. So that Type 2 in the factory gearbox in this thing, I don't know what it is about it, but like if you picture like a 78 Coupe de Ville or whatever, and how easy they steer, that's kind of like this. Like you feel like you just whip it and it just keeps spinning.
Nice.
Which is good and bad, right? You want it a little stiffer when you're riding around, but man, it sure is nice if you're just like cruising to like one finger this thing.
Is there anything else that you still want to do to it, like a major thing? Like you said, exhaust, a little bit of touch-ups, but
Exhaust is a big one for me. And that really won't take too much. I mean, I'm hoping to have it done for good guys too. So hopefully the next couple weeks it'll be finished. Like the death of a 6R80 is heat. So I do want to, even though it's kind of like against everything that I stand for as far as like aesthetics, I need to put a 3-gauge filler here. I'd love to see what my trans temp is, just so I keep an eye on it.
okay.
Gauges light up, they're really cool looking. New vintage. I've never used them. This is the first time I've used them, but they make a
They look
kit
beautiful.
for the truck to bolt in.
Nice.
I really want to paint the truck, but I want to work out all the kinks and know that I don't have to fix or move or pull or push anything else.
I can refer you to a guy if you want. There's a really good guy.
Paint it.
Yeah, you know Charlie Hutton?
If you know somebody good, somebody good.
At least it's got good paint on it now, because usually it's like, you know, the shoemaker's kids don't have good shoes type of deal.
Oh yeah. The only thing that, like my white one, the white Chevy truck, I mean Ford and Chevy trucks in the 90s were bad about paint coming off. My white one's got a little paint coming off on the roof. Luckily this one doesn't have any of those issues. But I want to go through it. Like, I got my handles in today. There's a guy, JC Customs CNC on Instagram.
Yep.
That he made my valve covers. Well, he's got Gen 1 Lightning too.
Yeah.
So he makes the vent windows. I got pull handles from him.
He's local to me. He's
He's down by you,
he's
right?
in South
Okay.
Florida.
He's been great. He's working on a set of so Keenan's truck. I don't know if you saw it in
Yeah,
there.
the F-150.
Shorty. We cut the bed down a foot on that thing. I'm sending him mirrors because I'm having him build me against Keenan's will essentially, but I want to do it. So Keenan's just gonna have to pay for it. But it's a cap that'll go on the factory, but it'll run a 15 and up Mustang mirror on it.
Nice.
So it'll kind of give it, because where they have those street scene mirrors or whatever that
Yeah.
fall apart. I want it to be factory, so I'll order.
And the Mustang mirrors are a trick.
They look cool, man.
Yeah.
So we ordered them. They're manual fold, but they got the little, little mirror so you can see around you, blind spot mirror or whatever.
Yep.
And they got turn signals in them. So when the truck's done, it'll be awesome.
Do you know Jason over at Venata Fab? He's like a big C10 guy.
I guess I don't.
He makes a kit for those to fit on C10s. So like I know like 10 or 15 C10s that have Mustang mirrors.
What is it? BT Fab. There's another guy that makes a billet Mustang style mirror.
Okay.
That's really cool too. But yeah, everybody's. I mean, you hate to say everybody's doing it, but everybody is kind of doing it. But there's a reason
built into them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just it's a nice mirror. So you just, what I've seen most of the guys do is they just make the bracket for the lower side of the mirror to bolt to.
That's what we're doing. I
Yeah.
want to make it 2-piece so that way, and you know that the fab guy, the CNC fab guy, he's into lightnings too. So I'm hoping we can market that mirror. I said I don't want anything.
You just want one.
I just want one, but I think it'll work out good for him because he'll be able to sell them to the Gen 2 lightning guys.
Yeah.
But the Mustang mirror is just cool.
I've seen a lot of those guys now going Coyote too.
Because the 5/4 jump.
Oh, yeah.
You want to hear my girl sound like?
Oh yeah. Dude, that thing was spinning through third.
It'll do better if we can get fully stopped.
Oh man.
I wish it would bite better, but I'm working on that. That's the next deal.
Oh.
Like I said, with a 38-gallon tank, all I gotta do is throw 38 gallons. It's like putting sacks of concrete.
Oh yeah. Knowing you, it's gonna have a full frame under it eventually. You know you're gonna.
I just want to drive it.
That's what you say now.
I need to finish this and then start another project so that I'll just drive this and focus on something else.
Well,
Because if I don't, that's exactly what happens.
yeah. No, I know that's gonna happen eventually. You're just gonna be looking at it, and you're gonna be looking at it, you're gonna be like, huh, roadster shop, huh, no limit, huh.
Not a bad deal. I'd love to put a cowl hood on it, but then part of me doesn't want to lose the stock hood. It's like
Yeah.
all the things I wanted to do. I wanted one of these trucks since I was a kid. Just, you know, as I was getting older, they were getting higher in price, and I ended up trading. I had a '64 Impala 2-door hardtop that I traded for this truck.
Okay.
So I got it at Good Guys 3.5 years ago. So it'd be cool to take it to Good Guys next weekend and show it like
Yeah.
finished off. Or
Full circle.
yeah.
Or version 2.0. 'Cause I'm gonna rewind to this. Like when I come to you next time, and the truck's like crazy, 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 I'm gonna include the clip of you saying, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do it."
No. Yeah.
But overall, dude, I love this thing. Like, I had a Lightning. I had a crazy story on a Lightning. I basically had $1,000 into it. I bring it back home and I park it in my driveway. The motor was shot. The truck throws you back in the seat. But I had it in my driveway. One of my buddies is like, "What are you doing with that thing?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "I'll give you $5,000 for it." I'm like, "All right." I only had a stack in it. I regret it all the time because the body was perfect. Like the motor was trash, but I wouldn't have used the 351 anyway.
No.
So
I mean, after going through the heartaches that I did, I wouldn't. Like every car that I've had at my shop seems like lately, and I hate to even say it like this, right? But dude, it's almost too old to mess with if it has a distributor in it.
yeah,
Like I know that sounds like ridiculous, but any car in my shop that we've ever had a problem with drivability, anything like that, has had a distributor. And I'll be honest, like I don't have a whole lot of experience with distributor stuff, right? Like that wasn't necessarily my era. It was, but only because we couldn't afford the newer stuff. But as we've grown up and things have come out, I mean the LS engine came out what, 98?
I think so.
So like those were going in cars, and then we were driving, you know, catfish Camaros, and you know, then getting into 3-valve Mustangs and 2-valve Mustangs, and the distributor just went out. So now we're so outdated with it that we don't even really get it. So we had a guy call the other day wanting to build a car for him. Like, "Hey man, can you just do this, this, and this to my motor? And I want to keep it 351 Windsor, put aftermarket fuel injection on." I'm like, nope. Like I've got no interest in it. Like
You just know it's just gonna take more time that you can't really charge for, because like you know.
That's exactly it. 100%. Like, because I'm not going to stop tinkering with it until I'm happy, and I'm never happy with anything, it really seems like. So it's like, all right, well, I guess I just won't charge them for the other 40 hours that we had playing with this thing, trying to meticulously get it perfect.
Yeah.
To necessarily, at the end of the day, really feel like you got nowhere. It's like, all right, let's get a little more, little more, little more. It's running worse. Back it off. Back where we started. You know, we're trying to get more out of it, you can't get more out of it. So the Coyotes are just ridiculous.
And they're starting to get cheap, like actually cheap. You know, like you could get a Gen 1 F150 motor under $2,000.
You can get a 5.0, like if you wanted to start with a car, hell, you can get a Mustang for
Oh, yeah.
$20,000, $25,000.
way
seen
less
enough
than that.
GT.
Oh yeah, that's a Gen 2.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. The
I
Gen
want
1s
to-
the Gen 1s are so cheap.
they are. The only thing I don't like is the Gen 1 computers. There's not as many parameters to tool with.
Okay.
But you can get a Gen 1 and change the phasers on it and run a Gen 2 computer. Like, that's really the only difference in it. The heads are the same.
Yeah. I hear they have a little bit of oiling issues, but nothing that you can't fix.
I've
It's just you
never
have to know
had
about it.
Yeah, you just gotta watch it, I guess. I mean, this one's 90 PSI going down the road.
Well, this is,
one's
I'm
okay.
saying Gen 1s have the issue with
Yeah.
oiling, not Gen 2.
Well, I'm saying if you, I wonder if you switched over to the Gen 2
Oh, if it
phasers
fixes that?
and oil pump. I mean, that's where I think it would be coming from. If the heads are the same, I mean, what else could it really be causing them to clog down?
True. Well, we're over here back at the shop. We'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so we're heading out from Casey's shop, but he let me in on a secret that this is a magnet, so it's now my magnet. Sorry, Casey. Thought that was pretty cool. So when you see the video, just know I took it. Let's clean this off real quick. Hell yeah. What do you think Casey's gonna think?
Who cares what Casey says?
Who gives a shit?
I wish Dowdy came up with the idea first.
Alright, well. What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Alright, well, you know, that's it. We're done. So if you guys want, subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, drop them down below. And he didn't even realize. Look at him. Yeah. And if you can, give it a thumbs up. We'll see you in the next video. Later.